Yesterday I shared the adorable tag box. If you didn't have a chance to see how that's made, be sure to check out that video. Today I'm sharing with you a super simple way to use our candy bar wrap die to create a little sweet treat and something extra to give your friends and family to prepare for the holidays. So you're going to open this up. I've glued 2 of the candy bar wraps together, which I'll show you in the video how to do. Inside, they can enjoy a sweet little candy bar. And the second one is a little notebook, just a simple wrap of paper, some notebook paper to make lists. I don't know anyone who doesn't need just a little notebook that they can throw in their purse that doesn't take up a lot of space. It's thin, it's small. It's a great place to just jot down grocery lists and ideas for the holidays. Such a fun way to give a gift. And I've slid a little pen on the side to make it even more special. You could also just put a little pencil in the envelope as well. Tie that up and you have the perfect hostess neighbor gift just to make people feel special during the holidays. Join me as we make this project. It's really simple and fun to do. Okay, to get started to make this little project, you're going to need the candy bar wrap die and the Hey Sugar stamp set. Now, I want to point out that you could also do any fun stamp set that you have that has a greeting for Christmas or something for the top of this candy bar wrap. Remember that these are customizable and they don't have to coordinate with the stamp sets that were made for them. That's what's so great about these basics, is you can use them in so many other ways. And this simple curve, don't be afraid of that. If your stamps aren't already curved, just simply put them on a small curve using a clear block and stamp on top of that. And you can use any greeting that you have that's straight and skinny. So remember that these are super versatile and customizable to really any occasion. So what you need to do is you need to cut out 2 of each of these in both patterns. Whatever pattern paper you have, this fun little Merry Christmas is super colorful and very festive. So I'm going to cut 2 of the plaid and 2 of the text. Okay, we are ready to start assembling. Just simply fold on all those score lines. And it's a little bit hard to see those lines on the pattern paper, but you can feel the texture and where those are. So just gently fold. How quick these come together. They make such fun little gifts and just an inexpensive way to give a treat. I will say though, I went to the store and I don't buy a lot of candy bars, and I was kind of surprised by how expensive candy bars have gotten. So a little bit of surprise there. You can use double-sided tape or you can use glue, whichever you prefer. I tend to like to work with glue on these just because it allows me to move that and get the seams perfect. When I use double stick tape, once that's down, it's stuck. And if the box is crooked, it can be a little bit frustrating because you have to start over. So I do find that I like the liquid glue when I can't see, especially using pattern paper. You can't really see those lines to keep things straight. You're going by the feel a little bit. Okay, now that you have both boxes assembled, set those aside and make sure you use the center layer and die cut yourself a cover, and then die cut 1 of each of the other pieces as well to create a little banner. I'm going to go ahead and use the word sweet treats, and we're going to set down that top layer of the banner right on our stamping platform and then just lay the sweet treats on that. And I'm going to go ahead and emboss this with gold embossing to give it a little shine for the holidays. Using some embossing ink, let's go ahead and make sure that we get that good and inked up. Remember, with your greetings, you don't want to press too hard. Okay, let's go ahead and with some tweezers, which will be much easier than trying to hold this yourself, sprinkle that with your embossing powder or dip it in your container. Set that off to the side. Okay, go ahead and also die cut in red, cheeky, Dijon, and diamond glitter. We're going to layer up the banners for some fun layering with just adding a little pop of color to the top of the packaging. This is just an easy and simple way to add a little more color. Really making sure that glitter layer sticks out the back pretty good amount. And then just slightly down and off to the right, layer those banners. And then for that final layer, get out some foam tape and let's add some dimension to the back side of the banner. This will really make it pop, giving that little extra dimension on the edge. Look at that, adds that little shadow effect. And then you can add that to the top of your treat box. Okay, now let's go ahead and get some double-sided tape out and just lay that on top of the green box. Peel up your backing. And then I want you to stick this box right on top, lining that up straight. And you'll just have to probably take some scissors and like go inside that box and just press it down, making sure it's really stuck together. And then we're going to take our Cherry Kisses 5/8 inch ribbon. Looks like I got the end of the spool here. Wrap that around the box. And then we're going to go ahead and attach this down to the front of the box, which will hold our ribbon in place. We're going to use foam tape for a little more dimension. Do one on the side, the middle. This will really make sure that your ribbon doesn't move. Again, make sure your ribbon's where you want it when you lay this down. Okay, then I'm also going to run some up the back just to hold it in place. Okay, now you have this cute little double box, and let me show you what you can fill it with. Now those little candy bars at the store, they fit perfectly into this, but you can take it one step further, and I've used some of the 6x6 Merry Little Christmas paper. You just set your little candy bar inside. You have to trim it down a little bit just to match the length of your candy bar. And then I add some, again, double stick tape. This stuff comes in handy during the holidays, all the packaging. We do sell both 1/4 inch and 5/8 in the shop. And then you just have this cute little coordinating star that you can pop inside the top box. And then for that second little opening, you can make that little note, the list maker. You can make the little list booklet, super simple. Then to make that little list notebook, we're going to trim this down to 6x6 pattern down to 4 5/8, and then it's about 5 3/4 long. And you can adjust that a little bit according to what you want it to be. And then you're simply going to fold that in half. And then you just want to cut some strips of paper to fit inside. And these are approximately 2 inches wide and about the same length, just short of 5 3/4. And they'll fit right inside. And the best way to do this is I just use notebooks. I just grab notebooks from Target or whatever, and I just save these, and I just use an X-Acto knife and I cut out from the spine, and then you get this really nice list paper that you can use with lines or dots. These notebooks are usually pretty inexpensive, and I just keep a bunch on hand because I have a stationery addiction. So it's no problem to find a little extra paper around here. And then to really finish this off, I think it would be cute. I have just cut a little 2-inch by 1-inch piece of paper to make the top section. All I'm going to do is gently score that or fold it down the center. It will work best if you have a bone folder, but if you don't, not that big of a deal. Just simply. Now, I want to show you a little trick so it looks a little finished on the edge. So you're going to wrap that around the top of those pieces of paper. You're going to staple this in place. So it's a little list, little booklet that they can rip out when they're done. And then you're just simply going to fold that over the top using some skinny double stick tape. Just finish that off. And that way your staple doesn't show on the top of the little pad. And then we're going to add some double stick tape to the very back of this. And we're going to go ahead and just do it halfway down on that back piece of paper. This will just hold it in place. I'm going to go ahead and add one right in the middle as well. Really making sure that's attached to the back side. Center that at the top in the middle of the little folded piece of paper, and there you have a tiny little list maker that you can give along with a little treat. Maybe it's to one of your kids or close friends. You could put a little cash in there as well to help with the holidays. Okay, just simply go ahead and tie that end closed. I just do a little knot. You can do a bow if you have a longer piece of ribbon attached. It's cute just to do that little knot, loose knot. And then if you have any pens with a little clip on the side, you can get these at your local store. They have them, I see them all the time. And I usually just have a few on hand to give with gifts. You can slide that onto the edge, and there you have a fun, simple, little sweet treat and something to help people organize the holidays. I hope you enjoy making these. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you again tomorrow with another fun project. Have a great day.